and this is Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
My Lewis, I'm just getting started. Doing it all for you, my Lewis, so I show you spark. Doing it all for you, my Lewis, I'm just getting started. Doing it all for you, my Lewis, so I show you.
Hey there, Colorado track and field fans. Welcome to this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, I'm Bobby Reyes, and I'm going to be your host. Now, we had another big weekend on the track here in Colorado, but we also had some crazy performances coming from out of state. I'm not really going to waste any more time just here doing the back and forth. We've got plenty to talk about, so let's talk track. All right, so let's start at the Oregon relays. We're going to go out of state because there was some incredible stuff coming out of this meet, particularly from Niwot. Per the usual, Niwot came, did what they always do. Starting with the boys' mile, Rocco Culpepper 4:05, Quinn Sullivan 4:05 and change, Hunter Robbie 4:08, Jude Ritzenheim 4:11. Between Rocco, Quinn, and Hunter, they went 1, 2, 3 for a dominating performance here coming out of these guys. And I know almost immediately, as soon as this race was over, everyone's thinking, okay, when are they going to run a 4x mile, or will they put together a 4x mile? Because if you add up their times, you're looking right around 16:30 and change. The reason why that's kind of a number to look at is because the current national record is held by Newberry Park, and it is 16:29. So if you add all of the top four guys from Niwot, they're right on the cusp of that. But kind of as I mentioned last week, it is really hard to put together these record-breaking performances because opportunities are few and far between. But you know, if we want to kind of go down this road, I feel like Niwot could definitely make a run at that national record in the boys 4x mile. It's time will tell. But moving along to the girls' side of things, Addie Ritzenheim doing what Addie Ritzenheim does, which is win. She runs a 4:45 to win the girls' championship mile. Likewise, for the Niwot distance medley relays, girls and boys come away with not only just wins, but U.S. #1 performances. It's 9:53 for the boys and 11:32 for the girls. As I mentioned probably about 1 minute ago, Niwot did what they always do. That's win and run fast. All right, now let's come back to Colorado, and we're going to go to the Altitude Invitational because there was quite a few performances that really stood out to me, and I'm going to try to dive in a little bit more, just like last week, to give a little bit of additional context here. But so going to the Altitude Invitational in Fort Collins, starting with the boys 1600, I feel like introductions are in place here because we saw an incredible performance come out of Thompson Valley Jr., Anthony here. He won this one in 4:12 over Ben Lee. That's the defending 5A state champ Ben Lee, who was a really close second. But going over here to Anthony is a 4-second PR. He'd run 4:18 previously this season. He's also run 9:22 in the 32. So we saw hints of what he did here on Saturday. But when we go a little further back in history, this is 14 seconds faster than his 2025 PR. So a year ago, he was running mid 420s. Now he drops a 4:12. That ranks him number 3 in 4A. So he's going to be in the mix with all those Niwot boys. But definitely going to want to keep an eye on Anthony here because this is a really big performance. And I'm really curious how much faster he can go. Obviously, 4:12 in front of Ben is a great performance. So moving along to the boys 400, on the topic of big performances, we got Preston Moser coming out of Fort Collins, 48 flat. That's .00. It's a 5A #1. It's a personal best. I witnessed this race, and he made it look so easy. I'm even curious now, can we dip under 48 seconds? I'm definitely seeing that in Preston's future. A lot to be excited about there. But now I want to dive in a little bit more on some of the sprints, particularly on the girls' side. Starting with this girls 400, we've got Addison Smith, we've got Lily Whale, both come out of Fossil Ridge. Addison takes this one running 56:26. Lily runs 57:82 for second place. But what's really interesting about this is Addison coming up in distance, and this is Lily kind of coming down, or maybe Lily's more of that she's more of an 8-4. But Addison is definitely a 100, 200 meter sprinter. And now she's stepping up and running the first 400 of her season. And she in her first 400 of the season, she runs 56.26. That's incredible. She's currently ranked number 5 in the 400, number 3 in the 200, number 2 in the 100, and also I think that's she's a number 2 in the long jump as well, because she also won the long jump at the Altitude Invitational, leaping to 18.725. So what's really cool about this, with these two girls in particular, obviously. Addison could be a very big point scorer for Fossil Ridge at the state meet. I mean, like I mentioned, she's got 5 events where she's ranked within the top 5 of every event. And then likewise, you've got Lily over here running the 400 and the 800. Between these two, they can rack up a ton of points at the state meet, which is going to make Fossil Ridge a very difficult team to beat. And I'm not even talking about the relays yet, because they also put together some great relays. The Fossil Ridge's 4A did win at Altitude Invitational. So great performances, exciting stuff. I mean, particularly when we look at Addison stepping up in distance here, what I like about this a lot is, particularly for 100, 200 meter sprinters, when they add that 400 to their resume, what it does to their 200 is it makes them even better. And Addison is already an incredible 200 meter runner, but now when she's adding the strength or the stamina involved with running a 400, it's going to make that 200 even better. And, as we, again, round the bend into the second half of the season here, as she gets comfortable running that 400, obviously she's going to run even faster, but then what does that do to her 200 and her 100? I see only good things in the future here, so plenty to be excited about there per the usual. All right, so that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and as always, I will see you on the track.